Welcome to Go Island, Cowichan Valley, where today we visit Duncan, the city of totems. On today's show, we'll shed a light on native carvers' cultural knowledge, now on view for all to see. We'll take a road trip and find out what's going on at the BC Legislature. All that and more on Go Island, Cowichan Valley.
Go Island is brought to you by German Auto Import Network.
Inside Duncan City Hall is a great place to be because behind us you'll see the maquettes of the Interpretive Project of the Totems, and I'm with Catherine Gagnon, who's with the Cowichan Valley Museum and Archives. Catherine, it's an exciting project, and I know for 30 years people have been able to wander around in Duncan and see fabulous native carving, but there's a before and after to this story, now having this interpretation done for us. So give us a description of it, please.
Well, that's right. It was a wonderful project that came about in the 1980s, and it was when the city was rebranding itself and looking for a way to distinguish itself, and invited carvers, local and from the island and from other places in the world to create this collection. So we've added to the collection over the years. The majority of the pulls came in the 1980s, but in the last few years, we initiated a project that would allow visitors to learn more about the totem poles.
Now, learning more means delving into cultural history, and so there's an oral history, as I understand it, being passed on from families. How rich is that, and what a wonderful experience for all of us.
Well, for us, when you walked around the poles, there were these small labels saying who the carver was and what the year was, but you really had no idea what the carver was thinking or what story they were imparting, and that's why we undertook the oral histories with all the carvers, or at least the families of the carvers who had passed away as well. And that allowed them a chance to talk about the work that they had done, to talk about the pole. And what we did then is we took parts of those oral histories and included in the text panels that are now distributed in front of the poles throughout the city. And it's just made the city's totem walk an enriching experience.
Mm-hmm. It's precious history as well. I've even heard from many Native families that they are not feeling that all of their history is being preserved. So this is one way to trap a lot of it.
Well, that's right. And and a lot of the carvers were really pleased to have been asked, like so many people are when we undertake oral histories. They think, well, what story do I have to tell, and would anybody be interested? But of course, they're fascinating stories, and it feels very good to talk about your past and to be heard. Mm-hmm. And so to take parts of these stories that were collected in oral histories and actually put them on the signage. I think if I were a carver, I'd feel very good about it.
And I've seen lots of people wandering around reading the signs in downtown Duncan, myself included. It teaches us so much more. Now, I know that you've probably heard an awful lot of stories, and I don't expect you to be able to tell us specifically any family-specific history, but out of all the stories you've heard, is there anything surprising to you or elements that you were not expecting to see in this oral history?
Well, I think for me, it's just what I said. It's the fact that they were being listened to and somebody was asking about their story about this pole, and actually an opportunity to set the record straight. Mm-hmm. So there has been books produced about this, about the various poles in the collection, sometimes with inaccuracies. Mm-hmm. So it was wonderful to speak. I think that would stand out for me, that we got to speak to the carvers and their families and determine exactly what those stories are in their own, and then to put it in their own words on the signage of the poles is really wonderful.
Absolutely fabulous. Well, we're going to go on a bit of a walk then, discover something more about this wonderful totem project. But we'll take a brief break first of all. And when we come back, before we're back out on the street here in Duncan, you're going to hear about what's going on in the BC Legislature. Well, the House isn't sitting, but whether it's perils with the pipeline or budget issues, there's always lots going on. Sean Leslie will tell you about that after the break.